Now it's time for Bleav in the ACC with our starting lineup. From Florida State, number 17, Charlie Ward. From Morehead State University, number 50, Lloyd Span. And from Murray State University, number 2, Kendrick Haskins. Get ready for the best sports show about the ACC in all the land. Bleav in the ACC starts now.
Once you hear the whistle, you know it's time. You know it's time. For Kendrick Haskins, for Lloyd Spence, for Charlie Ward, we are here. We are glad to be here on this very nice fall day. This is a very nice fall day here.
Fall where? 85 degrees here.
That's fall. That's fallish. That's fall of Jace. You know what I'm saying? It's
still
to the fall.
It's only fall here by the calendar. It's still summer here.
Well, listen, we got about that same 85, but it's a nice, calming 85. It's not, when did we become a weather show? I don't even remember when that happened, but we're here. Glad to be here. It's Bleav in the ACC, and we got a good show for you as always, because that's what we do here. We have good shows most of the time. I don't know what's going on with me today with the voice wire. I don't know if I'm
telling you in a very way.
Yeah, like I just heard it. I was like, what is going on? Like I sound like I'm yeah, you'll never find. I don't know if I'm
like
under the weather and I don't know it yet.
Sounds like you're trying to summon Mrs. Noise.
Yeah, listen. That's always a good time. I ain't gonna hold you.
Mrs. Noise.
Hey, this is what's the show? What's the song from the 80s? I'm a world-class poet. There you go. We're gonna have a good time in here today. Let me tell you something. We are on we just ended week 5. We are on week 6 of the college football season. I personally can say to you, I don't know what I'm watching now. I don't know what these games are. I don't know who's good. I don't know who's bad. I know what the rankings say, but I don't know. Like, I'm watching these games and I'm saying, I thought that kid was better than that. And see, the problem is, Kendrick, in my humble opinion, and before we go to the ACC, when you watch, I don't watch all of the games from every team, right?
It's impossible.
It's impossible for anybody to watch all the games. So when I catch you in a primetime situation, I'm assuming that I'm going to see the very best of who you are. And the problem with that is this year has been, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true, i.e. Oregon and Penn State. It's an okay game, but all the hype of I've watched Drew Allard now 3 times. All 3 times I've seen him, he's been awful. All 3 times. So I can only walk away with one perspective. He's awful.
Yeah, he's, for all the hype that he had coming in, yeah, he definitely hasn't lived up to the hype.
Not even close.
No.
Not even close. To me right now, my assessment of him would be he's undraftable. Like, he'd have to walk onto my squad. I can't. I'm not going to waste a draft pick on that guy.
You can use a late round pick on him.
No, I don't want to do that. Unless there are a lot of, I've gotten everything else I need, and he's there, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because it comes down to best available later in the draft. And I
But
guess,
but it, but from what you've seen of him, do you think he can make the squad?
no, he can be
Okay,
a practice squad guy.
he can definitely be a practice squad
And
guy.
you worth
So
it's worth the shot. I mean, you never know. Some of it could be just the system doesn't fit him as well. So
what system does fit Penn State? I know we got to go to ACC stuff, but what system does? Like what fits? James Franklin, sir. You need to find a system that wins big games. Find whatever system that is. That's the one you need. Because right
that's so
now,
wild. That's so wild. They can't win them.
he can't. And by the way, he can't. And what I mean by that is, if it happens once or twice, you say, okay, well, he's having some challenges. But when it's happened like 15 times, bro, that's you. That's all you. You're doing something fundamentally wrong to where you can't win these games. And you got
I
to
give
figure
him
out
credit.
what that
He
is.
acknowledges it. He doesn't run from it. So I give him. I'll
He
at
doesn't
least
run
give him
from
that.
him. Yeah, he's not delusional. I give him that. I definitely give him that. So, anyway, we digress. But in the ACC, we got our own problems. We got our own set of problems because we have a perception problem.
Yeah.
Because our good teams keep getting beat. Now, to be fair, this was an outstanding game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an
Well, I
outstanding
saw of
game.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an outstanding game. It was fun to watch. It was competitive. And when I say outstanding, I mean it was competitive. It was a nice, interesting back and forth. When you end the first quarter or the first half 21-21, that's a good game. Now Florida State got off to an awful start, right? They were I think they had to score 21, almost 20. Was it 21 straight points? I think it was at one time.
Something like that.
Yeah, so they got off to an awful start. Virginia was not intimidated or delusional about Florida State at all. The number 8 ranking meant nothing to them. They were like, whatever, we're gonna win. We are better than you are. And I'm not even gonna claim that Chandler Morris played phenomenal. He was okay.
I mean, he had a bunch of touchdowns, but he also gave the ball away a lot too.
He was very generous with the ball. With his distribution, he gave it to both Virginia and Florida State players alike. I think he had 3 interceptions in that game. So it was an interesting game. But listen, not to be outdone, Tommy Cassiano also gave the ball to Virginia 3 times. So and he didn't play particularly well either. Like he was 18 of 32. So he missed a lot of throws. He did use his feet reasonably well. I think he led Florida State in rushing, like at 78 yards or something.
He had some nice throws in there.
He had the timely throws. When he needed to make the throw, he made it, especially downfield. So that's what made this game so interesting. It's like neither one of them played great, but they made good plays when good plays needed to be made. And then it got to overtime. Virginia was able to out overtime them, if you will.
I still can't believe that the receiver for Florida State is healthy. When they
You don't think he's healthy at all?
And when they stormed the field.
Oh, that was wild.
That was insane.
That was wild. I personally, I didn't really like that because I was nervous for those kids because I'm saying I'm all for a good field storming. It's fine. I don't care. Unlike I'm not the get off my lawn guy when it comes to that, but I am the get off my lawn guy when it comes to putting kids' health in danger. And I agree with you. The kid that dropped the ball in the end zone, he didn't even have time to get up.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, yo, man, that's not good. Like, he had to have caught some strays, right? Like,
right. I mean, and he had to get trampled. I mean, he was still laying down when they ran out there. He didn't have time to move, to react.
He didn't have time to do anything. And it was like, let's not do that, guys. Come on now. And I don't understand. I guess what I don't understand about field storming is the inability of the home team to hold them back at least a little bit, like at least until.
when they're that many people, it's nothing you can really do.
But I mean, in there, a
And a lot of,
situation.
I mean, that many people you can call the National Guard, they're going to get out on the field. But and a lot of it too is the construct of the stadiums themselves.
Yes.
Because when if they try to storm the field at Louisville, they can, but they're gonna have to work to do it because
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
not
wall
an easy
and
thing to do.
there's
Yeah.
a wall and there's a drop, and
Right.
and some stadiums are like that. But like Virginia, they right on the field anyway.
They're right there, and
Yeah.
go back and watch the tape. As soon as the last play was going on, you saw all of the crowd on the ground ready to go. They were like, "If you miss this situation, here we come," and that's exactly what they did. So I didn't love that. I'll be honest with you, I didn't love that either. But the game was good. The game was solid. So
At least with Virginia, they beat the number 8 team in the country. Unlike Illinois, who stormed the field for beating number 24. Come on.
yeah, let's
What
not
you,
do that.
what you doing? Just because you got beat
right.
by 100 the week before.
Yeah, we got to calm down.
Right.
Is Florida State good? That's the first question. My first real question. Is Florida State a good team?
I think they are. I think it's just the way the system is. It's so stupid because they still act like Alabama is the be all end all. So Florida State beats them, and all of a sudden they go from an afterthought all the way to number 8. And just, but then the double standard of the whole system. Virginia beats them in double overtime, and they drop Florida State 10 spots and move Virginia up to 24. And like, what?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
And then Alabama beats a Georgia team that doesn't have a quarterback, and then they jump all the way back up. It's just the SEC invitation.
It really is, because I think the SEC currently has like 9. Is it 9 teams in the top 25? Like, what is? I think. Let's see. We can find that out like relatively quickly. But like Texas, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Missouri. Okay, maybe it's 8 or 7. Okay, so maybe it's 7.
Oklahoma's not up there.
I didn't say Oklahoma. Oh, Oklahoma. That's the other one. Oklahoma. So it's 8 teams in the top 25. With all due respect to the SEC, I don't believe that there's 8. They have 8 dominant teams. Now, record-wise, yes, their records say that they are that good. But also, when you
nobody believes in LSU and nobody believes in Tennessee.
Nobody believes in LSU or Tennessee. I believe in Vanderbilt more than I believe in LSU and Tennessee. So, if you're talking about the problem is that with the ACC, they're beating up on each other.
Right.
And it looks like it's not a good league because they're beating up on each other.
Which is such a dumb way to look at it. Because when the SEC beats up on each other in the SEC, it's such a tough conference. It's such a gauntlet. But then if Florida State gets upset by Virginia, see, the ACC's not there good. Look, it's so stupid.
And Virginia legitimately might be that good. Like, if you look at Virginia, they could be that good. We all thought, okay, Stanford's awful. They're awful. Turns out Stanford's not as bad as you thought they were. Stanford is 2-3, a solid 2-3, and their last 2 wins were pretty good. So I don't know what the ACC is. And the other thing is, I don't know what quarterback is the best in the ACC. There are guys that are doing interesting things and putting up interesting numbers like Miller Moss. But also, if you had to characterize his game this past weekend, it was a tale of 2 halves.
Yeah, he was great. He was phenomenal in the second half. You gotta give him credit. He was phenomenal in that second half.
I would argue the entire team was, because when you hold a team to 17 or to no points, that's impressive. They didn't score. Pitt didn't score once they stepped back on the field.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a good performance by Louisville in that second half. That first half was as bad as it gets, but they showed a lot by settling down and coming back, shutting them out, and coming back and
Yeah,
winning that game. They made plays down the stretch. Especially more impressive for Miller Moss is that the run game wasn't what it has been all season. And so
right.
that game they had to put it on Miller Moss's shoulders, and he took them down, and they can't got a big comeback win on the road.
It is very clear that Duke Watson and Isaac Brown are not 100%. That like
Mm-hmm.
they were not doing Duke Watson and Isaac Brown type things this past weekend. Though in the second half they kind of gutted it out and made some plays that at least gave pushed the defense back and allowed Miller Moss the opportunity to go make some plays down the field. But are they going to be healthy? What is their plan? Because they still have two more games before they take a legitimate bye, right? And these are the
No,
two
they
toughest.
no they no they play Virginia, then they have a bye week.
Oh, so this Virginia game, and then they have the bye week before Miami.
Yeah,
Okay, well then that's good. If they can survive this one, then maybe they could get some rest and get healthy,
their
which is
bye situation has been very strange.
it
They had
is. I don't know
they
why
had a
you're taking them
bye
this
after the
early.
This is their second bye. It's
Right,
already their
that's what I'm saying.
second. Yeah, they're
That's what I'm saying. I
done.
don't know why you're taking them this early. Like that seems like not the smartest thing to do, especially when you got a lot of games left. But I didn't schedule it. They did. They decided this is what they wanted to do. So
Yeah,
okay,
but I mean, this one is timely, but it's
yeah,
still weird because
it is
they
very
didn't
weird.
have all these injuries going into the last bye week. They came out of the
Yeah,
bye week with all these injuries. That's weird. And so
yeah. I don't know if they're driving too hard for the goal or whatever it is. And this is listen. All this is weird to be talking about a 4-0 team that should be in the top 25. That's legitimately. But it's the reality because they've not put two great halves together, I don't think yet. Not two great ones. And so we're waiting to see, is this the game where they will finally display a completely balanced game on all three phases of the game. They've either been great at special teams and great at offense, or great at defense and special teams. Special teams is the only thing that's really, I think has really been consistent.
consistent. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it'll be interesting to see if they can pull this together going forward. With Pitt, Eli Holstein is a box of chocolates, and not even the good kind. It's the kind that has coconut in it sometimes. You might get like there's some good ones in there, but that coconut is dominant.
yeah,
In there.
you,
Like
yeah, yeah. You might get a caramel one in there somewhere, but
maybe one or two caramels, but for sure there's coconut ones.
the coconut
For
ones, yeah.
sure. And you're like, oh, this is disgusting. And so I don't know. Pitt, I don't know what Pitt is, if I'm being honest. I don't know what I see when I see Pitt. Sometimes I see a defense that can be decent, and then other times you're like, my God, y'all can't stop anybody.
Mm.
Sometimes Eli Holstein is dialed in, and he'll play halfway decent, and then like the second half of that game, you're like, oh boy, oh man. So I
Right.
don't know what to think about them. And I didn't even ask you this, but what were your thoughts about those four quarterbacks for Miller Moss, Eli, Thomas Castellano, and also Chandler Morris? What are your thoughts about any of them?
There,
Who is the best quarterback in the ACC?
I guess right now it's got to be between Castellanos and Morris. I guess. I mean, that's listen because that second half was the best half of football that Miller Moss has played so far this season.
Right.
So and I think we'll know more after this week.
Right.
I get it's a toss up. I mean, because if you switched all of them and put them all on each other's teams, I think you're getting the same results.
It's not gonna be much different.
No,
It's not gonna be much different. I listen, to me the greatest mystery in the ACC is how Georgia Tech keeps winning. Because it's not like you don't go to the game as a coach, as a coaching staff, knowing exactly what you have to do on the defensive side of the ball to win the game. You have to stop Haynes King. And by stopping Haynes King, I mean all things Haynes King. The 243 yards passing, the 106 yards rushing. That's the offense. That's all they have.
And Haynes King's
That's
fun
it.
to watch, but you also like this is not sustainable for a whole season.
It feels like this is I don't know how he's doing it. It's the greatest right now. The great shout out to Brent Keys. I can't even be mad at him because it's the greatest smoke and mirrors that we've seen in quite some time. Like I know this is my guy, but do you know this is my guy? It's like what do you? I know he's the guy. Like I don't know. It's weird to me. But listen, here's the thing that's the most impressive to me. Of the 48 yards that he passed for, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 receivers touched the ball.
Spreading the ball around.
I mean, is he the college Drew Brees? Is that what's going on? Like, everybody can get a pass. You can get a pass. You can get a pass. It's working. So I don't know. It's weird to me. I don't understand it because to me, with him, it's blitz and contain the entire game. If I'm the defense, we're just gonna blitz and contain, stay true to your lane discipline, and we should be able to win this game. But which by the way, in the first half, Wake Forest did that. They stayed true to their discipline. They had Georgia Tech dead to rights. It was 17-3 going into halftime. They stayed true to their principles. They were giving Georgia Tech the business. And then the bottom fell out in the second half. It was like the third quarter, Georgia Tech stormed all the way back. And it's like Wake Forest. Wake Forest, all season long, when in their losses, has run out of gas. It's been the same formula. They've run out of gas every single time. They have nothing left to give at the end of that game.
Yeah, that's what happened against NC State. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know what's wrong with them finishing. But they are not great finishers. And Robbie Ashford, I don't know. I don't know what he is. Like, again, we got all these quarterbacks, and there's nobody in. And this is what I hate too, Kendrick. Because I think these teams are solid teams, but because no one is distinguishable, it looks like we have a not so great league.
You're right. Yeah, because Wake Forest, you don't know what you're going to get from week to week, and NC State's the same way.
Yeah.
Duke is like that. I mean, really, the only consistent teams have been Miami and Louisville and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Everyone and even then, consistency is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Consistency is like somebody spot me.
Here's another one. Another prime example right here in this game.
They destroyed Syracuse. But to be fair, Steve Aguilar, or Algie, what's his name?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah.
He's out. And I had honestly forgotten that Rico Collins was going to start that game. There is a tremendous difference between Steve and Ricky Collins.
Angeli,
thank you. I apologize to that young man. I don't mean to jack up your name. But there's a tremendous difference between those two quarterbacks. There's a real solid reason why Ricky Collins was not starting. And I think the kid has potential. He's certainly athletic, but it's not the same. It's not the same. And the threat downfield is for sure not the same. There was no, I think other than the drive they kicked the field goal on, they don't know how, right now they don't have the components to keep a sustainable drive going. So I don't know if it was that Duke was so great as much as it was Syracuse was a shell of themselves with this young man.
I think it's more of that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we've seen Duke lay multiple eggs already this season. So that's what surprised me because I'm pretty sure we still all picked Syracuse this week because Syracuse is usually so good at home. But
honestly, I actually picked Duke on that one.
Oh.
But I didn't have I think I did it solely on the strength that the quarterback was gone. And that was it. and I just didn't know if they could get over the hangover or uh, I didn't know much about the young man, and I didn't want to bet. I've learned from my Syracuse days. Is what I'm trying to tell you. I've learned valuable lesson. The team that I thought wasn't going to be great is turned out to be they're pretty good. California, and first of all, shout out to the announcers in this game because they didn't even attempt to try to call this man's full name. They kept saying, "What a play by JKS." I was like, I understand because I don't know how to pronounce his name either. But and that's no disrespect to the young man. Somebody in California should be in the SID department should be given a phonetical breakdown of how to say his name.
I'm sure there probably is on their website.
Well, somebody needs to give it to the announcers and have a tutorial before the game.
That's on the announcer.
Like have a tutorial before the game starts. But the kid makes timely plays. And they got a halfway decent running game in Kendrick Raphael. So they're doing what needs to be done. Now, to be fair, that was Boston College. Boston College is not very good. But to come all the way across country and play that game at like 8 o'clock in the morning, California time, that's a solid win. So they're sitting at 4-1.
Yeah.
They're sitting at 4-1. And they just got their first ACC win. So
I think their schedule sets up for them to stay in the mix.
Yeah, I think it does too. Yeah, you can check that for me. But I think you are correct in that they don't have a lot of travel games, and I don't think they have a lot of the travel games they do have aren't the toughest, if you will. I don't think.
Yeah, it feels like because here's their schedule. Yeah, so they have Duke at home, Carolina at home. They play at Virginia Tech, but it's a night game there, so it's it's not crazy early for them.
Yeah.
Back home for Virginia, then they're at U of L, at Stanford, and home for SMU. So yeah, they've got a manageable schedule.
Based on current results, that's a manageable schedule.
Yeah,
I don't hear the juggernaut on that schedule. Virginia Tech got NC State. These games drive me batty because NC State legitimately should be 5-0. Like the two games they let slip away, they probably shouldn't have. Right?
They're confusing.
Yeah. I mean, and also to remind you all, Virginia Tech doesn't have a coach.
That's that part.
they're just out there trying to complete the season. Like they don't have a real coach. They're just out there with assistants trying to make it work. But they're making it work. They're on a 2-game winning streak, I believe.
They made the right move apparently.
It's crazy to me how that happens.
Especially when on the road, good NC State team. It's a good win for Virginia Tech.
It's a good win. That's a solid win. San Jose State was because we don't know what Stanford is, but apparently Stanford's not awful. It's the Andrew Luck effect, I guess. I don't know.
Wasn't that their first win?
No, it's the second.
Well,
believe it or not, it's the second. They're stacking them up in Stanford right now. They were able to squeak this one out against the Spartans of San Jose State.
San Jose State had a run a couple years ago where they were pretty good.
They did. They were very, very solid. They're very, very solid. We had a bonus pick that counted for nothing, but the game was actually interesting. Alabama was able to beat Georgia, which is not that part's not really surprising because Alabama has always beaten Georgia. Like at one point Georgia could have the number one team in the nation and Alabama would beat them. So that wasn't surprising. And Simpson was way better than Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah,
like way better. I think Gunnar Stockton. Let me ask you this: did they keep the wrong quarterback, Georgia?
I can understand why they did it because Beck had a bad year last year, and he's coming off that arm injury, which you didn't even know if he was going to come back. And so, given the decision, like hindsight's 2020, but if you go back to at that time when they're making the decision, that was almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's interesting because we all, and I say we, I mean all of college football, we all have the same problem right now. It doesn't matter what your conference is. We all have the same problem. We don't know what quarterback week to week is going to show up and be great. I'll give credit to a few. The quarterback at Oregon is Dante Moore. I think his name Dante Moore. He seems to be the real deal. He seems to be the real deal. Like he played very, very well. So I'll give him some credit. Listen, if Taylor Green could get some defensive help, they might be better.
I told you it was going to happen in that game.
Well, you did, and what was interesting is I had several people from Arkansas texting me during that game saying, "Are they?" The only question I have is are they going to let Sam Pittman on the bus along with the defensive coordinators? Which, to their credit, they did give him an opportunity. Well, they let him on the bus to go home. Or maybe they called him an Uber. I don't know how it went down. But they for sure made them pack their bags, like, immediately. Mm-hmm. But the irony of this whole situation, for me.
The man has more lives than the cat.
This man has blatantly committed adultery in the building, using university funds, by the way. He got into a horrific and embarrassing motorcycle accident. He is
allegedly
brought he has brought a plague to at least 3 different college teams at one time. Nearly destroyed an NFL team, or at least set them back considerably. You could argue that he set them back almost 5 years because it took him a minute to kind of recover. Then somehow has stumbled back into an OC position only to find himself right back where he started, which was the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
And you know he was going behind the scenes, pulling some strings to get that.
Without question. And we say that, some of you are saying, well, how do you know that? Because we know the man. we have dealt with the man. We know the man very well.
And those that was starting to leak the week leading up to that last week's game. So
exactly. This was inevitable. He may be Thanos. He may be Thanos. He may be the college version of Thanos, where he snaps his finger and bad things happen. But shout out to Notre Dame for not caring about it. They went and beat the brakes off Arkansas, and as they should. This was believe it or not, I actually stayed up for this game. Well, technically I didn't stay up for it. Some of the other games were running late, and this game just happened to cross over into the other game, so I stayed and finished it. It wasn't a great game as far as action and stuff that was going on, but it was interesting because you thought, okay, Colorado may pull this off. They did not. And then it got weird because they started chanting like some very obscene things at the team. And BYU's a kind of a cool little squad now. Like, the coach is real cool. He's kind of got a hip hop flavor. So I don't know. It was a weird game, but it's Colorado. By the way, on the heels of this, did you hear the rumors that there's some SEC teams that might want to take a look at Deion? Which I was like, for real?
I haven't heard that. But, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because of the attention he brings.
Yeah, that part is true. He does do that.
Yeah, he brings a lot of attention.
Although it's not as loud this year, obviously, as it has been, but he does bring attention.
He brings the eyeballs, and you know he'd be able to recruit the South, and so the South for sure, and probably can recruit just about anywhere. So
I would love to see him with a level playing field, see what he could produce.
And NIL money, yeah,
I'd love to see what he could produce with a level playing field. But it's got to be tough to convince kids to go to 9-degree weather. And
Colorado is weird though.
It's a beautiful place.
It's beautiful. Their weather code. Yeah. It could be 9 degrees on Monday and be 75 on Wednesday. Their weather's strange.
And it gets worse. It gets worse as the winter comes. Like, it's real bad.
Yeah. So, but it is as our friends who live out there though. They say it's not as bad as people think it is.
Well, once
It can
you get
get
used
big.
to it, I'm sure it's not. Yeah.
Well, not like they can have a giant snowstorm and it's all gone in like a day or two.
Really? Wow.
The
Okay.
weather's
Okay.
very strange out there.
It's very strange. It's very strange. Another two teams that we don't know what they are. Illinois was able to hold on and beat USC, and
And storm the
is
field.
right? Yeah, I don't understand. We gotta stop storming the field for everything. Everything's not a stormable offense, right?
Right.
But this is coming off the heels of being pounded by Indiana. So maybe that's why they stormed the field. I was like, oh, thank God we didn't get pounded again. So they were able to hold them off. I agree with you 1,000%. Listen. When a guy shows you who he is, you got to believe him. Brian Kelly has shown us who he is. James Franklin has shown who he is. Now we have to start believing them. They're not big game hunters. They're just not. Not consistent ones anyway. James Franklin's not a big game hunter at all. But Brian Kelly gets nervous around big games.
And I do think Ole Miss is probably the best team in the SEC, but
they certainly have the best offense, I think, for sure.
Yeah. But LSU it's the same thing. They're a great defense, but their offense, even though I do think Nussmeier is a good quarterback. I just don't think their system fits them, and they can't run the ball. If you can't run the ball, I don't care how good you are at quarterback.
Right. If a blitz is coming every time you say hike, then it's probably not going to be a great offense. Especially if he don't have any mobility and he doesn't. He's a traditional pocket passer. And again, we talked about Oregon, Penn State. This was an interesting game. I wouldn't necessarily categorize it as great, but it was interesting. It had a great ending. Yeah, I thought the ending was solid, but I just don't know. Penn State to me, they got a culture problem. Ironically, Penn State has the same problem as the Baltimore Ravens. It's all about belief. They don't believe in tight spaces that they're going to win. They're front runners. When they've got the lead, they're going to win. But I don't mean lead.
Well,
like
I don't know the Ravens.
Points.
The Ravens, no.
Well, but that's specific teams. Like that's just the Bills and the Chiefs. Everybody else, when they got the lead, they can win.
They've blown leads against. Remember that Dolphins game? They blew that big lead in that one. Yeah,
they got belief problems. They got real belief problems. And
they've got
Penn
fourth quarter
State's the same
problems.
Way. Yeah. Penn State's the same way. They don't know how to close. Not consistently anyway. So, I didn't have a chance to put up our record overall, but we both went 4-3. This was a tough week for both of us because we bet on a couple of games that we shouldn't have, and the Florida State game, which we thought was a lock, was not. Thanks, Charlie.
I didn't think it was a lock, but I thought Florida State was going to win. But I
thought Florida State was going to win.
I wasn't surprised that Virginia won.
I was a little surprised. I think I was surprised at how good Virginia was against Florida State. I didn't think it would be that close. I thought it would be like Virginia would have maybe keep it within 3 to 7 points, and then Florida State would eventually pull away. And Virginia was the better team all day. The whole day they were the better team. So anyway, that's what we did last week, 4-3. Again, I ask you, on October 2nd at 9:48 a.m. Eastern Time, 8:48 Central Time, the best team in the ACC is?
Yeah, it's still Miami.
Okay. Until further notice.
It's still Miami. Now, after that, I guess probably Georgia Tech, and then Louisville.
Do you feel confident in Miami's? Here's what I feel confident about Miami. The one and only thing. They have a defensive player that is going to play on Sundays. I think, barring and sending up prayers and knocking on wood, barring something very catastrophic happening, the young man Bain,
First round pick. I've been saying it all
may
year.
be, I was gonna say he may be the first pick of the draft.
It's not out of the realm.
Yeah. He's the kind of player that you take him regardless of what else you need. You might need a quarterback. You might. It's like the Giants. We needed a quarterback. We absolutely needed a quarterback. But also, you take Abdul Carter.
Right.
And Bain is becoming that. He is so he's such a let me tell you guys something. And we want to put this in perspective for you. Ruben Bain right now is the definition of a game wrecker.
Yes. Yes.
Like he's going to keep you in the game because that defense, your offense can't do what it wants to do against him.
Because he can't block them.
You can send 3 people at him and he's going to get to the quarterback. He's outstanding. So I'm looking forward to this is going to be a great game this weekend, by the way. It's the game of the week, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how good Miami is because he's so great. If that makes sense. Like they may be just okay, or they may be really good because Carson Beck is going to get a lot of opportunities, and as long as he minimizes his mistakes, they're going to be great because the defense is going to be great. But also, maybe not. Because now they're going to step up a little bit in competition.
There's also the Mario Cristobal factor of there's going to be a decision that can make or break him in a game, and he tends to make the wrong decision.
Why are you telling the truth right now? It's so true. Is he a James Franklin type?
No, because he does win big games. I mean, he won that Notre Dame game to open the season.
He did.
And then he wins games. But his problem is similar to what Jeff Brom's problem has been over the years. The big games aren't the problem. It's the games where you're supposed to win that are the problem.
It's the game when you're coming down from the hype,
mm-hmm.
and now you just got to go out and do what you do, and then you just unexplainably lose that game.
Yep.
So, which may be the reason why, as we make our picks this week, why Virginia is an underdog in this game, and a sizable underdog in this game.
Yeah, last I checked, it was 7.5. I'm like, that's a lot of points.
It is, and they're definitely trying to bait you. But also, I don't know if they're wrong because, like you just said, this is the kind of game where Jeff is typically he has his team very well prepared. I fully expect, barring something really nutty, that the Virginia game and the Miami game, mainly because those are your 2 showcase games for Louisville. Those are the ones where you got to win because the world is watching.
That, and Clemson's on a Friday night too.
Well, but the Clemson one, the bloom is off the rose a little bit. Like
it is, but you know how that works,
right?
If they win their next all their games going into that game, it's going to be 2 ranked opponents playing each other. So
2 ranked opponents.
If Clemson gets on a win streak, they'll put them back in the top 25.
Are they going to get on a win streak? We'll get into that in a minute.
I think they will. Let's look at their schedule.
Okay. We'll take a pause and look at it real quick before we start making our picks. Because that's the real question. Are they going to get on the win streak?
See. Carolina
this week.
They should get the following week. SMU at home is going to be a tough one.
Maybe. Because they're not playing great either.
They should beat Duke at home.
I don't know now.
And home against Florida State. We still don't know about Florida State. And so they could win the rest of those. They're going to be favored in all of them.
It will be interesting to see what Clemson does this week. And we'll start with Virginia U of L, and then we'll go to Clemson next. But I think I'm going to go with the odds makers on this one because they tend to know.
Yeah, I'm picking Louisville in that game. I don't know about that spread, but I pick Louisville to win.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm curious about this one is because it's not that I don't think Clemson's going to win. I think they're going to win, and probably decisively. But what does it look like? Does UNC make it interesting? Because if they do, to me that says more about Clemson than it does about UNC. Because I think
It
UNC
does.
is awful.
They are awful, and so
Yeah.
it says more about Clemson. And I think Clemson's going to go in there and take care of business, especially coming off a bye week. I think they come in there and take care of business.
To use an 80s word that I don't get to hear as much these days, it would behoove Clemson if they would go ahead and dominate this game. So we're going to go Clemson just because, more so because UNC is awful. Not that we just have all this belief in Clemson. Boston College is taking on Pitt. They're looking to rebound. Both teams are looking to rebound. It's at Pitt.
I'll go Pitt. I trust their offense more.
Yeah, I agree. There's not a lot to take away from Boston College right now. In the next box of chocolates game, Wake Forest and Virginia Tech. And let's keep in mind, Virginia Tech doesn't have a coach. Okay.
The two of the more head-scratching, mind-numbing, inconsistent teams in the league, year in and year out. Year in and year out. You just don't know with these two teams. Give me Virginia Tech at home. It's just because they're at home.
Also, I love Wake Forest's jerseys. That black looks good, man.
Yeah. I love when they wear their matte helmet too.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
They're perplexing.
I don't know. If the Virginia Tech from the first half comes out, they're gonna blow Virginia. I mean, if Wake Forest from the first half comes out, they're gonna blow Virginia Tech out. But then they gotta play another half of football.
Right.
They end at halftime, they're fine. I gotta go Virginia Tech because it's at home.
That's
I guess
right.
Virginia Tech is
that's
good.
the only rationale.
Yeah.
They're the home team, but
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, Virginia Tech's not been good at home lately either. So
Right.
I would skip past this one.
NC State, we'll definitely go with that. Thank you, Campbell, for your contribution late in the season, actually. I'm going to have to go SMU on this one just because there's nothing that Ricky Collins has done to make me think they're going to rebound against a team like SMU.
No, I'm going with SMU in that one. This could be a rebound game for them, a get right game for SMU. Now that Syracuse is on their backup quarterback.
They have monkey stomped Kevin Jennings' Heisman opportunities this year.
Oh yeah, it's over.
It is over. That's crazy. Duke in California. Duke
again,
is going to California.
Again, this two inconsistent teams. I'm gonna go with California. I mean, the Duke did just went on the road last week. But again, was at Syracuse with a backup quarterback. I think I'm going California. We were just talking about how their schedule kind of keeps them in contention. So
yeah,
be kind of weird to pick against them in this one.
I'm going to be weird. I'm going to go Duke. Goes across country and pulls off the, I guess, upset. Is this an upset? I don't know if it's an upset.
Yeah, it's an upset.
Yeah, so
not a big one.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Duke on this one. They seem to be maybe have figured out a couple of things, and I like the defense. All right, the big one, Miami and Florida State University, the Seminoles.
Our house Homer is in a meeting, so we don't have his opinion yet.
I think we know his opinion. We're relatively confident that he's picking Florida State in this one.
Yeah. Miami's first road game of the season, which is wild to think.
And they're coming off the bye too, right?
Yeah, it's wild to think that this late in the season they're just now playing a road game. The Bills is like that. I think the Bills have only played one road game so far this season.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. I can see Florida State winning this game.
I definitely can see Florida State winning.
I can see Florida State winning this game. But the Bane factor is what gives me excitement. I'm curious to see how Miami is going to try to contain Thomas Castellanos running. If they can do that, this is going to get ugly real fast. Because I think that's the X factor. It's not that Florida State can't run the ball. It's that when Castellanos runs the ball and they run the ball, they're virtually unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to key in on and try to make Castellanos beat them from the pocket, which is why I'm going to pick Florida State. I think I just talked myself into it, but I'm not confident in that.
I'm gonna go. I'm going to go Miami. It's very tepid, but I just feel like the environment's not going to be too big for Beck whatsoever. Those
But the last
receivers.
time I saw him on the field, he was doing Beck things again. And that's what
This
gives
is
me,
true. That's what gives me
That's what
pause.
gives me nerve, right? That's
Yes,
what gives me
that's
pause.
what gives
He
me
was doing Beck
pause.
things again, like that's looking awful familiar, sir.
But at the same time, Castellanos could start doing Castellanos things.
1,000%.
So
1,000%.
you've got two quarterbacks that can keep both teams in the game. Castellanos is coming off a game where he did exactly that. So, and I'm like you. I think I'm going with the Ruben Bain factor. I think he's a game wrecker, and I think he can make a big play when they need it. So I'm going to go with Miami.
You may have talked me back across the border. I think you may have talked me back across the border because I don't trust. I just don't trust Castellanos. I just don't. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I trust Norvell, Coach Norvell. They are 4-1, and I think that man's fighting for his job.
Well, look, because after last year, but I'm willing to give him a leash as far as the big games go, because when he won all the big games 2 years ago, and then his quarterback got hurt,
Right?
And so I'm holding out judgment on Norvell. I think he's still has time to prove himself, and I don't think he's had a fair fight when it comes to the big games because of what happened with Jordan Love, or what was his name, quarterback a couple years ago.
Jordan Love, yeah. No, not Jordan Love. What was his name? Travis. Jordan Travis. Yeah.
So the verdict's still out on Norvell in that situation, and they still won the ACC championship game that year with their defense, and so
they did.
I don't want to label him that yet. He's not James Franklin yet. So
not yet.
But Cristobal, on the other hand, he's also an X factor. So this is a very intriguing game. Like I said, I'm going with Miami just because I think their defense can carry them to win the game.
Here's what we need, though, in this game if we're the ACC. Much like the Florida State Virginia game last week, this game needs to be greatly entertaining. It's a featured game. It's the featured game probably of the weekend. I mean, you could argue Vanderbilt, Alabama. That's going to be an interesting one. Texas, Florida, I don't think it's going to be that interesting because I do think, well, it could be because we'll find out if Arch is.
We'll find out more about Arch.
Yeah, we'll find out more about him. But the game of the weekend is Miami, Florida State. Yeah. And so it needs to look like a battle of two great teams that should be, win or lose, at least considered for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, if it looks lopsided in any way, or if it looks sloppy, i.e. Oregon and Penn State, then to me it hurts the whole. So I don't know. I'm hoping for my whole takeaway of this game is it's a great competition of two teams that need to put some film out there to the playoff committee that says our league is good no matter what.
And plus, I'm looking forward to the atmosphere at Doak Campbell, especially on television.
Should be
as
nice.
far as night games at Florida State just look different on TV, just aesthetically. And I love the way they look on national TV at night at Doak Campbell. So I'm looking forward to that atmosphere and just be able to sit home, come home from the Louisville Virginia game, and relax and watch that game.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, your Bleav in the ACC games this week. We mentioned a few of them: Vanderbilt and Alabama, Wisconsin and Michigan. Michigan needing to get some more quality wins. Texas and Florida is interesting, not because Florida's any good, but because we'd like to see if Archie's good.
Right.
And he's been the last couple of weeks he's played better, but this is probably the first.
And Florida has a decent defense.
I was going to say this is probably the first defensive test he's had since Ohio State.
Offense leaves a lot to be desired, but the defense is pretty good.
Yeah. Boise and Notre Dame. What a lot of great games to choose from, by the way, this week. And then, of course,
see the high school schedule here.
Oh, sometimes it's just not. You just pick through the bargain barrel at Walmart.
Yes.
I'd like to see if Texas Tech is legit in this one because Houston's a solid test. So I'm curious to see if Texas Tech is legit or not.
I'm surprised Texas Tech's not getting more buzz than they are.
I am too because it looked like they're a solid team, but
and everybody knows they spent a bunch of money on the team, and so
they spent.
I mean,
a lot of money.
Whenever Texas Tech is brought up, that's the first thing they say. It's like nothing about the coaching coordinators or the play of the players on the field. It's just they all making a bunch of money.
They're making a bunch of money. Well, right now, the number 11 team in the nation. They should beat Houston, but who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Who is your Bleav game this week, brother?
I was going to take the layup with Wisconsin and Michigan, but that's just boring. That's just boring. Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to my guy, Vinny Anthony, but
okay.
Michigan's going to roll in that game. Wisconsin's quarterback situation is oof. Let's go back to those again.
All right. Got Vanderbilt, Alabama.
You know what?
A little Texas, Florida action.
I'll go out on a limb.
Notre Dame.
I'll take the 2 ranked games with Vandy, Alabama. I'm gonna go Alabama now.
Okay. Oh, Alabama. You Bleav now. You Bleav.
No, they're at home, and they got the revenge factor on their side, and so
that is going to be high because they got embarrassed last year by Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see if they can come back and make some noise. I think I'm going to take Texas over Florida, but I'm going to say this right now. It won't look impressive because Arch is who he is. He's a young quarterback trying to figure out how to play the position in college sports. His games that they've won, to me, as an evaluator, have not been great. They've been okay. And swag aside, he's got swag for days. I'll give him that.
Yeah, their wins have been fine.
They've been fine. They haven't been dominant. They haven't been world-beating. They haven't been impressive. I don't think this will be impressive. They'll win, but I don't think it'll be impressive. And that brings us back to the original question that we started with on this show, which is who is the best team in college sports? Ohio State looked pedestrian this past weekend. They have possibly the best player in the college sports. I'd argue it's either Jeremiah Smith or Reuben Bain, one of those two. But
Ohio State was on
quarterback.
They don't have a great quarterback, but they've got enough pieces around them. Ohio State was on the road at Washington, and so
yeah, that's a tough game.
It's a tough game, especially that environment. Washington, one of the cooler environments in college football, especially that tailgate because they tailgate on boats, and so that's a tough environment. So I mean, for them to go in there and get that win, that's a good win for Ohio State. I still think Ohio State's the best team in the country.
But they can be beat. They are. Right,
but they can be beat.
They are for sure, 100%, and that's the thing.
I don't think they're going to lose to anybody in the Big Ten though, because Penn State's their only competition, and we know how that goes.
Oh, they're not. Penn State's not beating them.
Indiana, whether they don't play Indiana could put a scare into them because Indiana could put points on the board. They have a good quarterback.
So what did you walk away from Oregon thinking?
Uh, Again, going into that environment, uh-oh. I'm starting to hear the war chant in the background.
Well, I was wondering on Miami, Florida State Day weekend, were we going to get a Charlie Ward appearance? I mean, he's got to give the Seminole chop at least once.
You gotta hear Seminoles.
Yeah, Jesus, man. Like, what are we talking about right now? There it is. Go Knowles. There it is. There
Notre
it is.
Dame,
Doing,
some Notre Dame colors going on for Coach Junior.
Yeah, what is going on with the gears?
That's orange. That's orange. It just looks gold on the monitor.
Orange and green, baby.
Yeah.
The F is for FAMU. Yeah,
that's a nice.
I see it now.
That's a nice sweater, Charlie. Do they have that in a hoodie per se?
I love a good. You know, I love a good hoodie, Charlie. You know, I love a good hoodie.
My man, Al Lawrence collection.
Okay.
Al Lawrence collection is the designer for this sweatshirt, Letterman sweatshirt.
Are you in a race that we're
did
not
you just
aware
drive past a motorcycle rally?
Yeah. Somebody zooming around here on campus.
That seems safe.
Maybe they're excited to see you and they were going to tell a friend. I don't know what just happened there. I want to ask you both something that has zero to do with ACC football. I want to talk about the Nafisia Collier comments.
What did she say?
Well, Nafisia came out at her year-end press conference for the Minnesota Lynx and went about as hard as you can go on the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, and she talked about some very, if the statements are true, they were very, would you say inflammatory, Kendrick? Like,
I mean, she lit her up at the end of the day.
She lit her up for sure.
If
the comments that but she lit her up with her own words.
And
like,
she outed her on a lot of stuff. Yeah, especially that Caitlin Clark comment. That was like, wow.
The Caitlin Clark comment was very weird because, Charlie, she said that Kathy Engelbert made a statement of Caitlin should be grateful that we gave her a platform so that she could make $16 million. And I'm like, Kathy, that feels really delusional because Caitlin was making money before she got to the WNBA. Ice Cube has already offered her a multi-million-dollar contract to play in the Big Three. Caitlin's gonna be just fine. She doesn't necessarily need the WNBA, as you are supposing. But
she could probably make more money playing for Ice Cube.
Probably so. A lot more. Well, she'll definitely make more than her WNBA contract, for sure. But it was just, I guess the question that I have for the both of you is, and really you specifically, Charlie, because you lived through this, can you negotiate when things are so contentious? Like, can you get a solid negotiation when things are this contentious? Because it's clear the ladies in the WNBA have drawn a line in the sand and they are not budging until they get what they think is fair. And I'm actually okay with that. I'm pro WNBA, but also I recognize that they have heightened the tension of what was already a very tense negotiation. So you've lived through this, Charlie. Like I said, how do you go to the table when everybody at the table don't like each other?
I mean, just to be, upfront and honest about it, this is what negotiations look like, a lot of times. When you're negotiating something and you have these bumps in the roads, it's always this, what you would think is vitriol and, this hate speech and everybody hates everybody on the other side. We kind of see this going on, playing out in our political world as well, where folks are blaming each other. When it's all said and done, I mean, you still have to come together because you're working together, and find a solution on how you can make things happen, because at the end of the day, you need each other.
Mhm.
Um, and so you can you can do all your talking and throwing people under the bus. I mean, we've seen this. We just saw it play out with the man from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Um, that's just part of negotiations when you're going through it and you're not getting what you want, or you're trying to make a statement. And I just don't like it, because you can share your displeasure, but we can't be throwing people underneath the bus.
Mhm.
We can't be stomping on people, and all of that. There's a way you can go about doing it, and getting your point across and telling truths and what have you without, you know, stomping on top of people. But that
Well,
seems to be some negotiation tactics. But at the end of the day, you get in the room, you talk through. People go on strike because I know I'm part of a lockout, such a scenario a few
right,
times,
right.
in the NBA, and you know, it's just part of what you have to do in order to get, what you feel is fair wage or fair market value in a sense. So it's, I mean, hopefully they can come together and be on the same page and get what they need to continue to move forward, because this is normally what happens when you have a product and things start to move upward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign. But you always have these issues where people don't feel their values, or their worth, whatever their worth, is not being valued.
Mhm.
Um, and so I'm like, just make it happen. Like,
Can you,
I,
to your
I,
point, and I want to ask you this, Kendrick, as well. I'm gonna start with you on this one. Can you do what Charlie is saying in good faith? And this is the word I'm using, good faith, when the private conversations are made public. And that's what was really the most shocking thing about Nafisia. All of this was done in private conversation, and she was like, I'm airing it all out.
I mean, like Charlie said, this is a negotiation tactic. You see stuff like this during labor disputes all the time. Maybe not to this extent. And part of it too, is I think that the players want her out as the
Yeah.
president, and so I think that's part of it too.
Is
And
that a
so,
violation of good faith, though, to out the private conversation, to make the private public?
I mean, I'm sure somebody she was advised to do it. I don't think Nafisia Collier
I
just
don't
woke
either.
up and
Yeah.
decided to do this. I think this was
This was
advised as a
calculated.
part
Yeah.
of a
This is,
as a tactic. So we'll see if it works because I don't feel like they're very happy with Kathy, and so we'll see where it goes. But they
is
at
she
the end of the
commissioner?
yeah
yeah.
yeah she lit up the commissioner and brought up a private conversation between the two. And so, in which the commissioner didn't even deny it. She just
That was the
that's what
wildest
was
part of the
crazy.
whole thing.
Her comeback was like, wow. It was more newsworthy because she said nothing.
She was like, I mean, I wouldn't say it that way. That's basically how she responded.
Yeah.
It was, it was, I just think it's hard to get to a finality, to your point, Charlie, when you create such a, 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 a gulf. Because now, I don't, we had a private conversation that was probably off the record. And you just decided to
Air it out. Yeah.
to air the whole thing out without context. Because I don't know if we have full context of any of the statements. Maybe we do, but now to Kendrick's point, Kathy did herself no favors by not addressing the statements in her response. She didn't address not one accusation in her response, which was not smart. I don't know who's advising her, but she should have at least said, I would. She said it was a mischaracterization. Well, which part? Because there are like 5 different things she said you said, and you didn't address any of them. So which one was a mischaracterization? So I just think they're headed for some dark days, which is unfortunate because, like you said, the league is trending up. The play is better than it's been in quite some time, like across the league. It just seems unfortunate that you're probably headed to a work stoppage, like quickly, like it's like spiraling to.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have. I mean, I'm almost like, are they even gonna get the finals in? But it's also growing pains of a new league. Every league goes through it. It's just their turn at this point. They're just at a point where it's.
But this is not a new league. I mean, they've been going for almost 30 years. I'm gonna say 30, but close to 30.
It's close. It's close.
But I mean, but
maybe this is the newness of the notoriety of the league.
It's when they're crossing that threshold from just being kind of a niche league to becoming more mainstream. It's the growing pains of that, I feel like.
Well,
so it doesn't help how the NBA, how the ABA, and all the other leagues started to transition over to the NBA, and then you start making all these. The NBA started making a lot of money, and then you started to get players interested in trying to get a share. I think it's just par for the course, and I think that's where we are, even with the NCAA. It's heading in that same type of direction.
Yeah.
Where there's a transition from, I'm telling you what to do and you take whatever it is to, there's some ownership, like some partnership, happening between the people who are doing it, administrating, and then the people who are actually putting the work in, and so it's a partnership. To where everyone gets an opportunity. So I think it's just the day and time that we're in. Where of course the biggest deal is the resource, the money. If nobody was making money, this wouldn't be an issue. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? But since the money and the TV contracts are so huge and there are a lot of opportunities and different things, people are like, hey, we want our part, which I'm cool with, so that's just part of, growing and life.
Yep. Every league goes through it.
Well, they're definitely going through it. I just thought it was an interesting thing, especially since our great Charlie Ward lived through such contentious. Because that last work stoppage that the NBA had was their most contentious one, right? Like that I remember. I don't remember one being more contentious than that. Because it cost them half a season. Over half.
And 99. Talking about 99.
Yeah.
Was that the last work stoppage?
I feel like that's the last one. I could be wrong.
That's I can't remember.
They've come. Everybody's come close since then.
Well,
that was
I was definitely part of that one.
Yeah.
We didn't start playing it till January.
January, exactly. And this feels like this is that. Like as tensions as that was, yeah.
I like the fewer games, but that's neither here nor there.
I was actually okay with the fewer games.
Nice, but not in our case. We were playing 3 games back to back.
He was like, I did not like that. Charlie, you got a second? Because we can get you picking some games if you got some time. I don't know what your schedule's looking like here.
I have a 5. I need to be off at 10:30.
Okay, so we can go quick, or you can just send them in. It's probably easy to send them in.
We can go quick. It's 15. We got 15 minutes.
if you got time, we can go through it quick. You don't have to pontificate.
No, we got
if you don't
7
want to.
minutes. We got 7 minutes.
We
Well,
got
let's
7
just get
minutes.
him on. Let's just get him on Miami, Florida State. That's what we want to hear.
That's really
what
all we
people
want to know
need
anyway.
see.
Miami, Florida State. Who you got?
Who I got?
Well,
You just want the
why
explanation of why
your
I got.
explanation of why you're picking
We
Florida
want the
State.
explanation. we know you're picking Florida State, but
Yeah, picking
why would
Florida
they
State.
win?
Well, one, we had this issue last week. It's an issue, but we were on the road for the first time, and it wasn't the best situation because I thought we played well enough to win the game, but we were on the road, so handling adversity is a little different. Miami is very similar situation. They haven't played on the road yet. This is like their first first away game. But they do have, quality players. But I just feel like, Carson Beck being in this environment, playing against a good quality opponent, he will have his moments where he may give us some charity. So that's the reason why I'm picking FSU. One, because they're playing at home, and we need a win.
Well, like I told Kendrick earlier, he was doing his last time on the field. He was doing some Carson Beck type things. Like you're like, oh, that's the Carson Beck I remember from last year. So it'll be interesting to see, like you said, Charlie, if he can go into that environment. And that's, by the way, that is going to be a true road game because Tallahassee's going to be rocking.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the thing about FSU this year is they're mixing, especially from a defensive standpoint. I mean, it didn't help as far as the run game is concerned, which is something we got to shore up. I know they will. But passing wise, we're mixing our coverages a lot better. So we're not all man to man, we're not all zone, but we should be able to, get some hand on the ball, football, to cause some turnovers. But I mean, we created turnovers last week. We just couldn't stop anybody on the run in the run game.
Well, Charlie Ward clearly thinks that Florida State will correct all of its ills this week. I'm just hoping we both pick Miami, but I'm just hoping.
Yeah,
really,
I love it.
Charlie,
if you win this game, you're not flying under the radar anymore, Charlie.
You're not. You just beat the number 3 team in the nation.
Well, we got beat, so why not beat somebody else?
Well,
we need to get back. We need to get back on the radar. I'm not sure where we are in the latest polls, but
they fell on the radar. Losing overtime on the road and fall 10 spots to number 18, which makes zero sense.
I was going to say, strangely enough, you dropped to 18, which is weird because I didn't think it was that bad of a loss. Like, what are we talking about?
Especially when they ranked Virginia after winning the game, it's dropped Florida State 10 spots.
So clearly they're okay.
The math ain't mathing.
It never does with this stuff.
Yeah, that's been par for the course here. Since we have sometimes people going unranked to 12, like because they beat a number 3 team. It's just like you say, math ain't math, and so
yeah,
it's always interesting.
I know you got to go, but I do have one last question I want to ask you. If you could give Shedeur Sanders advice right now, being a guy who came from a backup situation and went on to greatness, what would be your advice to him right now?
Just keep working. Like don't even. I mean, people are looking to try to find something. I mean, they're like putting picture on his facial expression. I mean, we've all had those facial expressions. I mean, he's a competitor, and he feel like he should be playing. So people are just blowing this thing all out of proportion when it comes to that kind of stuff. That's just natural stuff. But he just has to make sure that he doesn't speak or even talk to the media. I wouldn't even talk to the media as in my position because they're actually looking for things for him to say. So sometimes it's better not to say anything, as your mama, your grandma used to tell you. Just don't say anything if you don't have anything good to say. And
But
so
technically, he didn't
just
say anything yesterday.
Yeah, technically he didn't say anything yesterday.
Which was worse. I don't know how you not say anything and it's worse, but it was worse that he didn't say anything. But
Did you see
right,
what he
Charlie.
did yesterday, Charlie?
no, I didn't.
They asked him about the Oregon quarterback. What's his name? Dylan Gabriel being named a starter, and he literally mimed everything. He would just literally just do this, and that's all. He did that every time they asked him a question.
So if I was him, like I said, if I was him, I wouldn't even talk to the media. As is he the backup or the third string?
He's still the third
string still.
See, I wouldn't even say anything as a third string guy. Like, why are you coming to me? I'm the, I would say stuff probably like that. Like, don't come to me. So
they
I would
blow
probably
that
get in
up
trouble.
too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that would be my deal. Like, don't come to me.
Or say something generic like that's my teammate, and like we've got his back, and just leave it at that.
That too. and keep it moving. You're right.
Keep it moving.
Well, there's clear tension between the two.
There's tension between the two, going back to last year in college, and so
Gabriel came out and said, you wait for the perfect time. You're going to be waiting for your whole life, which I don't think he meant that toward Shedeur. But
no, it was a comment he made during the preseason that was toward Shedeur. That was straight out of what the coach said before their game when they played each other.
Well, I think they Twitter is always on investigation mode. So I think Shedeur has a song he wrote called "Perfect Timing." And I think they put the two together like Dylan was throwing some shit, which he may have been. I don't know. He may have been. I don't know. But I just think, just settle down. Just calm down, young man. It's not, just do the work. The work will speak for itself.
And you are teammates at the end of the day, regardless. You are teammates.
Well, and the reality
you gotta
is,
like each other, but you gotta fake.
No,
it.
you don't have to like each other. But I honestly think he's going to get an opportunity at some point this season. Gabriel is not the greatest answer to the Cleveland Browns situation. But also, I had another thought. Then Charlie, we'll let you go. Since 1999, they've had 41 quarterbacks start for the Cleveland Browns.
That's the Cleveland 41. Browns, baby.
So I want to look right in the camera when I say this. If you've had 41 different dates, you're the problem. It's not the quarterbacks. It's you. Cleveland Browns organization. It's you. You don't know what you're doing.
They gave up on Baker too early.
That was the one relationship you had that was working. And you decided to abandon that. But if you had 41.
I mean, Charlie, did they contact you at some point? I mean,
41.
Even though by 99 you hadn't played football in about 6 or 7 years, but hey, it's still worth lobbing the call.
Listen, even at that point, he was a better option than the other quarterbacks they've chosen.
Charlie might be a better option now.
Oh no, they just can't get right.
Nope,
they can't get right. It's wild. 41. When I heard that, I was like, How do you have 41 different quarterbacks? That's
But they funny because there is a fan because they show them, or it might be multiple fans, but they do have like a Browns jersey, and then the whole back of it is just all the list of
I
names.
saw that. I saw that. I saw that. And they're running out of space on the jersey. Like it's not much space left. In 26 years, you've had 41. That's crazy to me. That's wild. That is wild. So you got to ask yourself, Cleveland, what are you doing at this point? All right, Charlie, we appreciate you pulling up, brother. God bless
All
you,
right.
sir.
I appreciate you guys.
Go Rattlers!
All right, go Rattlers. Is that what we're doing? Is that what it is? Okay, I can't do the similar thing. I pick Miami. I pick Miami. I pick Miami. I can't.
I did too, but
that.
I'll still do it.
Yeah, but I do like that though. I like the Rattler thing. All right, brother. See you, man.
All righty. See you.
The great Charlie Ward, ladies and gentlemen. He's awesome.
My
He's
favorite part
awesome.
of my week.
I'm telling you, it's awesome. Yeah, I 41. Can you believe that? That's a mess. That is the definition of a mess.
And like you go through the names too, and outside of Baker Mayfield, like none of the names are like wow.
You know what I want the internet to do, and I'm just going to put this out in the world and see what happens with it. I want the internet to take the music of What These Women Want from a Brother by DMX and take the quarterbacks' names and put it in that space where there was Sanders, Gabriel, Flacco. I want that couch. Right. I want that to happen. Watson. I met him at a massage parlor. You know, like I want that. I may just do that myself just because it's just like the right thing to do. But 41, that's crazy.
Speaking of the NFL,
yeah, talk to me.
Your boy Jackson Dart looked good. Gave the team a giant bolt of energy. I wasn't surprised that they won that game. I kind of thought they were going to.
It was more about the bolt than the performance. Performance-wise, it was fine. It was okay. It was, you can't get that excited about 100 yards pass.
But the thing is, it's a rookie quarterback making his first start against a good defense. And so,
very good defense.
But as soon as you have nice things, you cannot have nice things.
Listen, I've been saying for years, you got to get rid of that turf. It's not coincidental that all these people keep tearing up their everything on that turf. So why are we still holding on to something that doesn't work well? That doesn't make sense to me. But also,
what is it specifically about their turf? Because I mean, 90% of the teams in the league have turf. What's different about theirs?
I don't know. I don't think it's the same as everybody else's. If I'm not mistaken, I read up on it once years ago, and I don't think it's the same as everybody else's. There's a unique component to it. But what I'm noticing is that coming out of breaks, sometimes if you don't come out clean, it's like the turf grabs the shoe, and it holds it more so than other turfs, I guess, do. Because everybody's like Saquon. Remember, he tore up his knee there.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many guys that
Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham.
Aaron Rodgers' Achilles. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something about that turf that is the way it grips the player on a turn that is, or even in a stationary position, that is, I don't know, it's causing a lot of issues, but
yeah, because it's just so weird. Because I've been hearing about it for years, and I mean the numbers don't lie, but I'm just like I've never had the time to research and why is their turf so much different than everyone else's in the league? Because I said 90% of the league plays on turf.
Well, simply put, it's because everybody else's is not tearing up ACL. So that's the distinguishable quality of the MetLife Stadium. Your boys got the tie. It was not a blowout. They got the tie.
That was a win for them. The tie was a win because
it was one for Jerry.
It's two things. Well, there's two things though. For one, when they kicked the field goal in overtime, I was like, okay, well, they're going to lose because he knew that defense wasn't going to stop anything.
Right.
But two, my beef and my ire is with the clock operator at AT&T Stadium.
That's what everybody keeps saying.
How do you let that clock stop at 1 second?
Yeah.
I mean, that's on the refs to go back and look at it. You at least make them go back and look at it, and they may not. Why? How do you stop the clock?
It's supposed to accidentally click to 0. It's supposed to accidentally click to 0. Let them sort that out. They ain't got nothing to do with you.
Right.
But it's supposed to go to 0.
Right.
Like, what are you doing, sir? I got an interesting story. This is. I don't get this story if I'm being honest with you. In order to avoid concussions, doctors have emphasized to Tua that he needs to eat more carbs and drink water, specifically bread. Have you heard that bread is a concussion deterrent?
No.
I've never heard of that from anywhere. His quote is, "Your brain kind of sits in fluids. If I'm not eating carbs when you drink water, it'll kind of flush out of you, so you can't stay hydrated." I don't even know what I just read. Like, that makes no sense.
Especially when you look at every weight loss program that you get on, the first thing you cut out is bread.
This is the weirdest.
Bread is just fat and carbs.
I don't know.
That's a new one on me. It seems like if he needs to eat more carbs, I mean, I get it, but it seems like there's other ways to get carbs, like, fruit. So,
I don't know. I don't.
He's a doctor. He knows. He's a doctor. He knows more than me.
I don't understand what that is. And then drinking water. They drink water. Don't they drink water every game?
Some people
during the game
they probably drink Gatorade and think Gatorade suffices, and it doesn't. You still have to drink water.
They're probably drinking both. Like, they're probably drinking Gatorade and water. Like,
well, maybe Tua doesn't. Maybe Tua doesn't drink enough, because, like, I know of, and we both know of an athlete that used to play around here that used to drink Diet Cokes and Dr. Pepper during
that is also true. That is also true. But he wasn't concussion prone that I remember.
It was a she.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know, but I'm not going to out the person I'm thinking of until we get off the show.
I'm having a different thought than you're having. Okay, all right. We're thinking of two different people right now. So, okay. But yeah, that's just a weird thought to me. I was just like, carbs, like, to stop a concussion. So just eat a piece of toast. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand.
That's a new one. I get the water thing, but the carbs thing.
I don't get either one. If I'm being honest with you, I don't get.
He probably wants him to drink more water, just to drink more water, but the carbs part is there's a new one on me.
You watching Major League Baseball right now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That Yankees Red Sox series has lived up to everything you thought it would be.
I'll definitely be in on it tonight. Last night, but
and then of course we was watching because of the Reds. Louisville's a Reds town, and so they went out with the whimper, but they fought back last night. But
they fought last night.
The series was over as soon as Ohtani led off with a home run in Game 1. The series was over.
And he's pitching tonight. That's crazy. Not tonight. Not tonight. I'm sorry. He's pitching the first game of the NLDS.
Wow. At Philadelphia. That's wild.
They've already announced it.
Wow. Are they going to put Kershaw on the roster for this one or no? I haven't heard.
I have not heard that yet. It'd be nice to just have him. Even if you use him as a closer, just use him as a closer.
Now, they'd start him. I mean, like, the way they rotate pitchers in and out, you can let them go through the lineup once and then take them out. Third inning. That's what they do anyway. The starters don't usually pitch more than 3 or 4 innings anyway. So
that's true. Baseball is way different than what we grew up with.
They had a stat last night that, like, I think they said only 11% of the pitchers this year have thrown 100 pitches in a game. That's crazy.
11%?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
low.
You think about it. The other night when the Red Sox pitcher, when he was still out there, it's a novelty at this point. Crochet. Yeah, it's a novelty at this point to see a pitcher go that long.
Yeah,
guys don't go long. Yeah, because they went straight from the pitch from the starter Crochet to the closer Chapman. You don't see that anymore.
By the
Never
way,
seen that.
is there a greater roller coaster than Aroldis Chapman ever? He is the quintessential roll. He gonna give you bases loaded in the ninth. He giving you that.
Yeah.
Now, what happens after that is a mystery. Like sometimes he's gonna get the guys out, get you out the door. Sometimes he's like, I don't know, like I'm gonna toss this home run, let you have it. Like
It's all it is because he only has one pitch, so it's just a matter of if that pitch is getting over or not.
now, to be fair, that one pitch has allowed him to stay in Major League Baseball for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hell of a pitch, but it is just one pitch. It is just one pitch. Aroldis Chapman cracks me up all the time. It's like, fam, you are an anomaly.
I will always have a soft spot for Aroldis Chapman just because when he played here for the Louisville Bats, when he first came to the States, for one, he had it was either Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and the license plate said 101 MPH on it. And there's a corner gas station. If anybody's been in Louisville, right there on the corner of Jefferson and First, I think. Right. And it's the most overpriced gas station in town consistently. But he used to go in there all the time. And the workers just loved him because he was so nice to everybody when he came in. He didn't speak a lick of English, but he was always that really tells you how much he meant to those people that, these are not all these people, none of these people speak Spanish, and he speaks no English, and they loved him to death. So I'll always have a soft spot because he don't have to. He don't have to deal with these people if he doesn't want to, but he went out of his way, and they loved him in there. So I always have a soft spot for Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah. No reason for him to be pulling up at a Thornton's, but still,
especially that one. But he didn't know any better because it's the closest gas station to the stadium. Well, and
he's not pretentious. He's never been pretentious. And he's just a regular dude.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is his most appealing quality. He's just
but his story in general, just even how he got here is incredible.
It's crazy.
And so
crazy work. There's so many things we could be talking about. This could last forever, but I know we got to get out of here. But I'll be thinking of stuff. You ready to give up on Bryce Young? Is that over?
No, because that's just a bad organization. For him to do what he did at the end of last season and the moments he's shown a couple times this season, it's just a bad organization. It's not his fault.
I would like to see more players get second chances when they've been in bad situations.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of those kids that I think could be a Baker Mayfield type.
Baker, Sam Darnold.
You can see, because look what Sam is doing now.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a case that Seattle might be the best team in the NFC West, right?
Yeah.
I think Bryce.
The Rams, but yeah.
Well, the Rams. I mean, yeah, but like Seattle's not like way off.
Shout out to one-time podcast guest Tutu Atwell.
Listen, had a hell of a game this past weekend. And I know that because of what he did. I saw his fantasy numbers. But also...
Well, when you have an 80-yard touchdown, that kind of inflates your fantasy numbers.
that inflates your numbers considerably. Watching him play this past weekend made me wonder, why don't they go to him? Because he takes the top off well. And you got two guys that can help him take the top off.
I tell you why.
Because I know.
Well, not that. Tutu is tiny. You don't want to get him killed, so you just use him in sporadic in special situations because Tutu is tiny.
Got a little Xavier Worthy in him, though. I mean,
I think he's smaller than Xavier Worthy, though.
He's 100% smaller than Xavier Worthy.
I tell you, Tutu is tiny. Tutu is tiny, and so you can't play him too much.
Speaking of tiny, I need Matthew Golden. I need you to look right in the camera. Don't ever do that again. Did you see what he did?
Huh.
He caught the punt in the game and immediately turned to try to make some weird move.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking.
Fam, just catch the ball.
You're taught in Pee Wee football to never turn your back on But that's in a regular play. He's doing this on a punt.
I was like, what are you doing? Like, I know if you're the special teams coordinator, you're like, are you okay? Like, are you all right?
That was
like,
such a.
make sure you're all right.
That was such a dumb play that
Because
if
there was
you
nobody
look,
there. There was nobody there at the time he
and
turned.
plus, if you look at the tackle, that gets reviewed 9 times out of 10. But because of what he did was so stupid, referees like if he got hit head to head, it was his fault.
Right. They didn't even consider going to the monitor to see.
It was helmet to helmet. It was an accidental helmet, but it was, and they've reviewed less. They was like, "Nah, you stupid enough to turn around. You deserve it."
The only thing I saw stupider than that this past weekend was
Outside of Washington,
the WWE. I don't know if you saw this, but the Jade Cargill, who is like probably the rookie of the year, or at least she's not a rookie anymore. She's been there 2 years now, but she's like the up and coming girl.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still got a lot to learn. And like they did the throw you into the steel steps thing,
mm-hmm.
and she didn't put her hands up.
She's got to sell it.
She split her. She split her eyebrow to where she had 3 eyebrows. Like it was so nasty, and I was like, "Oh, ma'am, you've got to put your hands up. That's the rule." The whole thing is we're supposed to hear the sound of the steps, and it's supposed to look like you hurt yourself, not you actually hurt yourself.
She could have just lost focus for a second.
She lost all the focus. It was oh man, it was bad. I was like, don't do that again. So I was saying, getting your eyebrow cut or what Matthew Golden did, getting destroyed on a football field, what do you think is worse?
I think the eyebrow.
It looked awful.
Because at the end of the day, you still do have on helmets in football.
It looked awful. It was. I'm gonna show it to you after the show, but if you're online, go look at it. It is. Oh man, I was like, ma'am, you can't do that. That's not smart at all. Just, yeah, put your hands up. It's just simple. Like, put your hands up.
Yeah, like Buster said, put your hands where I can see.
Put your hands where your eyes can see. So anyway, okay. All right, we gotta get out of here. We got stuff to do. A lot of stuff to do today. But that is the great Kendrick has. Kendrick, who you shouting out this week?
And a smart aleck shout out. It goes to Bobby Petrino for his persistence to be a head coach. Shout out to him. Keep getting chances.
Keep the dream alive, Bobby. Keep the dream alive. Or in the words of Martin, keep the lie alive. Keep the lie alive. Keep the lie alive. He's amazing. Bobby Petrino is absolutely amazing. In my multiverse, he's probably my spirit animal. In my multiverse, not in reality. I can't.
I mean, Bobby was bad when Jordan Travis is still talking about how badly he was treated at U of L, and that was damn near 10 years ago.
I was gonna say he's not even. He hadn't been in U of L in forever. And
he had a whole career. He had a whole career at Florida State.
He said that dude is awful. He is awful.
You never hear Lamar talk about Bobby. He talks about Louisville, but you don't hear him talk about Bobby.
Yeah, you don't talk about Bobby too much. He dude is awful, man. Golly, he's awful. He is awful. But he keeps getting chances.
He can coach football. He has a great football mind. Just doesn't have the social.
I feel like Arkansas and Bobby Petrino are in an abusive relationship. Like he keeps coming back saying, "I'm gonna do better this time," and they're like, "Okay."
Even though I just did that at Louisville.
Right.
And
You
got
saw him
fired.
cheat on 3 other women, but you like, I mean, but he said he loved me, so what? Like,
and it's not like they were that great when he was the head coach there. They had the one year when they had the 2 running backs, but outside of that,
one good season. But Eddie Murphy said if you can make a team go, ooh. It's enough to get.
Now all I'm seeing is him making that noise and them doing that whooping.
Oh man. Okay. That was unexpected. That was definitely unexpected. But also wildly accurate. Also wildly accurate. Ooh. You can make him make that noise, apparently. That's all it takes. Just get him to make that noise. So we better get out of here before this gets worse. My shout out, I'll just co-sign your shout out, and we'll leave it there for now. We definitely need to cue the whistle at this point, which oddly enough has a similar sound than the one that Bobby Patrice.
Please just end the show.
Night dreams.